What's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to do a review of the new Payroll Giovanni and Peezy album entitled Ghetto Rich Guys. Let's get to it. Payroll Giovanni and Peezy are two street rappers coming out of Detroit. Payroll Giovanni is a member of the Doughboys Cash Out crew, but he's also a prominent solo artist who's done projects with Cardo and collaborations with big name rappers. Peezy, on the other hand, has been putting in work on the Detroit scene for a while now. He might not be as well known as Payroll, but he definitely has a solid fan base of his own. However, unfortunately, he is in jail at the moment, but that didn't stop Payroll from showing him some love by putting his verses onto this project. So this new joint album, Ghetto Rich Guys, is a solid offering. It's short and to the point, something strictly for the hustlers or people who like to listen to that smooth gangster shit. The instrumentals are very Detroit styled in that you're getting the ominous piano keys, heavy bass, and eerie synths. The majority of beats are done by Helava, who, from what I can tell, has been dropping consistent fire for the last couple of years. I'm not up on everything in the Detroit rap world, but I do know Helava has been making waves for a minute now. There's also production from David Wesson, who also makes dope beats for Detroit rappers, as well as a track done by Payroll himself. So lyrically, this album is for people who got it out the trenches. It's for the hustlers and ballers who made something out of nothing. You aren't going to get anything too complex lyrically, although Payroll does drop some slick lines here and there. It's a quick listen at just under 30 minutes in length. So with that being said, let me get into a track by track breakdown. The opening track, Fuck 'Em All, sets the tone for how this project is going to sound. It's hard-nosed and cold-blooded. I like the simple piano loop, which gives it a menacing feel. Payroll states, sold crack to get across. Yeah, I know, just pray for me. Really pray I never come across the dudes hating me. Who You Know features a solid hook from HBK. I like the energy to this one. It's very Detroit gangster rap sounding. This is another hell of a production. Basically, this track sees all three artists bragging and boasting about their riches and accomplishments. The track I Done Bossed Up is a Peezy solo. I like the eerie piano melody as well as the triumphant synths. Peezy talks balling and bossing up. It's another one of the rags to riches kind of tales. Payroll produces the following track, Separate, and it's a banger. I'd say it's probably my favorite beat on the tape. It's got this video game styled repetitive beat, but it's super dope. Payroll and Peezy speak on separating the real from the fake. Payroll acknowledges that he's a hustler first before rap. He states, I don't kill 10 dudes in a verse, but I can show you how to make a good 10 on the first. I know I could get you whacked with a smirk. The track Body, produced by Helava, has more of a wavy and modern sounding beat. There's some auto-tune, but it's done well. Peezy states, we ain't make it in the industry, but we made it out the trenches. I did have an issue with the volume of this track sounding a little low in comparison to some of the others. It was kind of annoying that I just had to turn that shit all the way up. We get some bright piano production on That's All. This features an impressive hook from Beyonce Bad, who can really sing. This one definitely gave me a 2000s R&B kind of vibe, but it's mainly a smooth and fly track that you could ride out to on a sunny day. Payroll takes it back to the old school on Paid in Full. This obviously samples Eric B. and Rakim's Paid in Full, but some other people might recognize it from the movie Paid in Full or else Zero's Mo City Dawn. Payroll opens up his verse with thinking of a master plan so I can hit the dealership with my mans. As much as I like this one, it also suffered from the volume sounding really low. Like I had to turn it up louder than the other tracks just to hear it. So that put a damper on my listening experience. The record Time is another breezy and laid back track with an R&B style hook. It's not bad, but I wouldn't consider it a highlight either. This is followed up by the hell of a produced Can't Make It Last Forever. And I'm loving the 80s R&B sample. It sounds like it might be a Keith Sweat song they're sampling. It's just dripping with that old school funk. Peezy and Payroll drop some insight on getting out of the game before it's too late. Payroll adds, tried to work a job, but I ain't care for authority. Started selling rocks, but got sick of fiends shorting me. The album closes out with Whole Gang, which is pretty much a Detroit posse track. It's eerie and dark and something for the streets. It features a verse from HBK, Babyface Ray, I Swear Vezo, Lil Perry, and Overlord Scooch. Overall, I give this album a rating of 3.8 out of 5. I think there are definitely some high points to the project. You know, for one, the beats were mostly hard hitting and the songs seemed sequenced pretty well. It started off with some really gritty tracks back to back, which I definitely dug. All the instrumentals seem to fit the vibe for what Payroll and Peezy were going for, which was to create a soundtrack to Getting Money. Secondly, the flows were mostly sharp and the themes were pretty consistent throughout. I thought Peezy sounded strong enough on here considering his circumstances of being locked up. Payroll is definitely the more technically skilled MC of the two, but I don't think he really demonstrated it that much on this project. As good as he sounded over the production, I personally feel that Payroll could have went a little harder than he did. Perhaps maybe I just have really high standards for him, but I felt like he was holding back somewhat. So essentially that leads me to one of my criticisms in that the subject matter on here was a little repetitive. I know these guys are sticking to the script of Getting Money, which is cool and all, but I had hoped for a little more creativity in how they rapped about money. It was just kind of one dimensional at times. Oh, and then my only other issue was that I thought the audio quality or volume was low on the songs Body and Paid in Full. My favorite tracks include Fuck 'Em All, Who You Know, I Done Bossed Up, Separate, and Can't Make It Last Forever. Let me know what you thought of this project in the comment section below. Was this album dope? Was it a nope? What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out. But be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Payroll Giovanni, Peezy, Ghetto Rich Guys, one.